Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss an extremely important topic in cryptography, that is digital signature. So whenever we perform any online banking transactions, either we are filing the income tax returns, signing a PDF messages or documents or access a secure websites, the digital signatures are working behind the scenes. So in this lecture, we will understand what is digital signature, why it is required, how it works step by step using a diagram, which algorithms are used in creating and verifying digital signatures, and applications and limitations of digital signatures. So let us start with the basic problem. So when communication happens over the internet, the three major security issues arises. The first one is authentication, means how does the receiver know who actually sent the message. The second is the integrity, means how can the receiver ensure that the message was not modifying during the transmission. And the third one is non-repudiation, means how do we prevent the sender from denying later that they sent the message. So for example, suppose a company sends a digital contract, later the sender claims I never sent the document. So this is example of non-repudiation. So how do we prove it? The answer is to all this problem is digital signatures. So let's understand what is digital signature. So digital signature is a cryptographic mechanisms used to verify the authenticity and integrity of digital data. It is based on the public key cryptography and it provides the three important security services, that is authentication, integrity and non-repudiation. So authentication confirms the identity of the sender. The integrity ensures the message is not altered during the transmission, and non-repudiation ensures sender cannot deny the message after sending it. Okay. So if we want to see that what is the difference between the digital signature and handwritten signature. So unlike handwritten signature, a digital signature is not an image or a scanned copy. So it is a mathematical value generated using the cryptographic algorithms, means it is unique for each messages and cannot be copied as handwritten signatures can be copied. So the digital signature basically uses the asymmetric cryptography, and in the asymmetric cryptography we already know that the two keys are used. One is a private key and one is a public key. So the private key kept secret, and that is a sender's private key, and the public key is shared with everyone, and the private key is used to create the signature, and the public key is used to verify the message. And this key pair is mathematically related. And we also required a hash function to create the message digest. And if someone signs a message using the private key, anyone can verify it using the corresponding public key. Now let's discuss what is hash function. So before signing a message, we do not sign the entire message directly, and instead we first apply a hash function. So basically a hash function converts any length message into a fixed length output called the message digest. For example, like SHA-256 and there is a MD5 algorithms. So SHA-256 generate a 256-bit hash values and MD5 generate a 196-bit hash value. So even a small change in the message will produce a completely different hash value. So this property helps us to detect any modification in the message. Now let understand the how the digital signature works. So let us understand this step by step, and I divide it into a two part. First is creating the digital signature and second is verifying the digital signature. So let us first understand how to create the digital signature. So first there is a signer, okay, that is a sender that writes the original message. Now the sender applies the hash function to the message, and this generates a message digest. Now sender encrypts this message digest using their private key. Okay, so the encrypted hash becomes the digital signature. You can see in this figure also. Okay, now the sender sends the original message plus the digital signature to the receiver. Now let's discuss how this verification is happened. So at the receiver end, the receiver receives the message and the digital signature. Okay, now the receiver applies the same hash function to the received message and generates a new hash value. Okay, now the receiver decrypts the digital signature using the sender's public key, and this gives the original hash value created by the sender. Now the receiver compares the two hash values. If both hash values match, the signature is valid, and if they do not match, the message has been altered or the signature is invalid. So if the hash values do not match, it means either the message was modified during the transmission, or the signature is fake, or the wrong public key was used. So in such cases, the message is rejected. So you may wonder, why not encrypt the entire message instead of hashing? So first reason is the efficiency. The hash values are much smaller than the original message, so signing them is easier. And secondly, second thing is a security, means the hash function ensures that even a 1-bit change in the message produces a different message or different message digest. Therefore, signing the hash is both secure and efficient. Now let's discuss what are the different algorithms used for digital signature. So the first one is RSA, that is based on the prime factorization that I already discussed in the previous video. The second one is a DSA, that is a digital signature algorithm. The third one is a ECDSA, that is a elliptic curve digital signature algorithm. So mostly RSA is widely used and very easy to understand, while the ECDSA provides the similar security with the smaller key sizes, making it efficient for the modern systems. Now let's discuss the properties of digital signature. So there are three important properties. First one is authentication, that confirms the sender's identity. Second is integrity, that ensures data is not modified during transmission. The third is non-repudiation, means the sender cannot deny sending the message. So these three properties are essential in the secure communication. Okay. Now let's discuss some real life applications of digital signatures. So digital signature are used in many real life applications like online banking transactions, income tax filing, e-commerce websites, software distributions, government document verifications. So many countries legally recognize the digital signature for verification of documents. Now let's discuss what is digital certificate. So now one important question arises, how do we trust the public key of the sender? So a digital certificate is the answer, and the digital certificate is issued by a trusted organization called a certificate authority, and this binds the public key with the identity of the owner. So when you open a secure HTTPS website, your browser verifies its digital certificates before establishing a secure connection. Now let's discuss the advantages and limitations of digital signature. So digital signature provides a strong security. It prevents fraud. It is legally valid in many countries, and it is also used for verification verification of document in a paperless form. So it saves times and the paperwork, and it supports secure online transactions. So digital signatures are essential in the today's digital world. But despite many advantages, there are some limitations also. So if the private key is compromised, the signatures can be misused, and it requires the proper infrastructure like the certificate authority for issuing the certificate, and user must securely manage their private keys. So let us summarize the complete concept. So a digital signature is a cryptographic mechanisms that ensures authentication, integrity, and non-repudiation. It works by hashing the message and encrypting the hash value with the sender's private key, and the receiver verifies it using the sender's public key. So it is widely used in banking, government services, secure communication, and software systems. So digital signatures from the backbone of trust in the digital communication. So I hope you now clearly understand the complete concept of the digital signature in detail. So if this lecture helped you, please like, share, and subscribe for more cybersecurity and cryptographic topics. And thank you for watching. See you in the next lecture.